morning. This is Tuesday morning, and my name is Tori Smith, and I would like to do the MILABS child trafficking report, which is a child trafficking operation run by DARPA and the CIA, as well as the FBI and other agencies, and owned by the Bush family. But as I've said before many times, 19 of the Bush family members have been arrested and taken to Iran for trials. 5 of those are complete, and I will do a separate report on that. Many of the trials have been completed, but they will be shown here. All the video will be shown here. And it's not like here on Earth where trials are a win-lose game. What happens is, well, George H.W. Bush, they go into the trial and they witness through video and audio all the crimes that they've committed, because everything is recorded. Everything has been recorded. All these men who rape and murder children, it's all been recorded by much higher intelligence than us on this planet, that's for sure. Okay, Sunday was a big day for the Chinese. 78 children were murdered in 4 locations. And Sunday morning, 78 children arrived at Nellis Air Force Base. And I feel very strongly about these children because they were raped so many times. They were raped repeatedly by Chinese troops and the self-proclaimed Emperor Xi Jinping, and who publicly is called the President of China. And then Air Force, the United States Air Force, picked them up at the China MILABS, and they were raped by 18 Air Force males on the way here, and then they brought them to the upper part of Nellis Air Force Base, and they were raped by more Air Force males. Each of these children, the 78 children, I was scanning their DNA and found that they had been raped about 40 times each, until they got to the point where they were put into the MILABS. And then they were taken to four MILABS, 4 locations. For Montauk. Montauk's been very busy lately. It's been fully staffed because they're working on new weapons. But they're not really gonna accomplish, what they want to. I'm sure of it. 8 children were gang raped by a group of 114 males. Mostly DARPA employees. Now, DARPA employees are basically the Nazi scientists from World War II, and they're just in different bodies. It was the 86 DARPA, 14 CIA, and then a bunch of men from Army Special Ops. Army Special Ops is very, very similar to the CIA. They're the ones doing all these mind control programs, Manchurian Candidate programs, where they have people basically have 2 personalities, and then they activate. They're a normal person, and then they're activated, and then they commit a crime for the CIA. All these children were murdered by a group of 6 reptilians while all the males watched, because these men find watching children be murdered very sexually arousing. Out west, at the Dulce military base, has also become very, very active, and I was thinking about that this morning, so I took a peek at their DNA, and what's happened is they've had so many losses on the dark side, and their big plan was they created this $17 trillion underground complex across the United States and around the world. Well, just 17 trillion they spent here in the United States to create a very luxurious habitat for themselves while they killed everybody off on the surface. That's why we have Nazi concentration camps all over America. In Dulce, 22 children were gang raped by a group of 176 males, and all military. And all of them were killed and eaten by this group of 12 reptilians called the Coteno. The Coteno reptilians. It's a species name. They were Rigelian reptilians from the galaxy Rigella. Okay, Nellis Air Force Base. Some of the children, 18 of the children, were then, after they were raped, by the Air Force, then they were taken downstairs into the MILABS, and because they had a special party. They had a party for a group of 64 males. There were hoteliers, and casino owners, basically, people who run the hotels and casinos in Vegas, and their staff, and there were also 2 DARPA and 3 CIA. And they were killed by a different species of reptilian. There was a group of 6 reptilians that murdered the children, the Daikogano reptilians. And then the last location was Roswell, which is extremely... See, DARPA moved their main operations from the Arlington location out to Roswell because they have a Hadron Collider out in Roswell. That's one of the reasons. Plus, they just wanted to get... Everybody's moving out west. 30 children were gang raped by a group of 247 males. And this... Because I've seen this in person. I mean, I've witnessed this in person. I was abducted to 14 different MILABS. And at the Arlington location, while I was being raped, and I mean anal sodomy, they murdered 54 children in the room. And I can't even really connect to these memories. I can talk about it a little bit, but I can't really connect to these memories because I'll have some sort of seizure. And how these people find witnessing children be murdered, sexually arousing, is absolutely beyond me. It's so horrific. I mean, I can't even imagine yelling at a child and hurting their feelings. And I took a peek at this, and because I wanted to see the numbers. I wanted to see specific numbers, and Sunday, of these 247 males did a total of 696 rapes on these 30 children. And they basically just line up and then take turns. Reptilians, reptilian males. And so each child was gang raped at 23.2 times each by this statistic. And so these children were raped an average of 60 to 65 times. And then also, they were also killed by a group of 16 reptilians, while 87 military males watched. And to move on to Monday the 14th of March, 18 children were murdered in 2 locations. 18 Canadian children were delivered to the MILAB, and they brought them down the high-speed rail, connects to There's a MILAB near Bolton, New York. I think it's about 50 miles away from this little town out in the middle of nowhere, Bolton, New York. The Canadians brought them in by high-speed rail. And then we've dealt with these people before, and this group of males are called Her Majesty's Royal Secret Service. And they basically commit crimes for former Queen of England, Elizabeth Windsor, who went through her trial and she no longer exists. This agency has delivered over 1,000 children to elite people around the world just so these children could be raped and murdered. But yesterday, Monday, all 18 children that they brought in, they were raped at least 10 times by the males of this group. And some in Canada and some on the way. And as fast as these high-speed rails go, luckily for the children, they don't last long. And then they were taken to 2 locations, the Pentagon. 9 children were gang raped by a group of 199 males, all military, all Pentagon employees, which is basically, they're spending all your taxpayer dollars. All these people that work at the Pentagon, just literally every day they bring in a group of children, and Pentagon employees go down and rape the children throughout the day. A lot of times these last 6 for 8 hours at a time. That's why I do the report on the following day, because there's so many people involved. And these 9 children were killed by what the military calls top brass. The TOP, top brass. And then the other 9 children were taken out by high-speed rail to Dulcie. And they were raped by a group of 204 military males. And all these children were killed by another group of reptilians. And we can see if I can get this. These names are so hard for me to get, because, people, ask me to read DNA. I'm like, well, first thing I want to see is their name and address of this guy. Like, well, it doesn't work like that. The Zahatka reptilians. And these 9 children, I also did a total, they were raped 522 times at this installation, Dulcie, which they're out there desperately trying to get more reinforcements and support to carry out their plans of killing off most people on this planet. Because, well, you know how the military is. I mean, they love to murder people. They love to rape children, and they love to murder people. For a while, the United States military was murdering people in 156 countries. And I believe now it is down to 141, which is a blessing in itself. But still, any one war crime is enough, let alone 141 war crimes going on right now. But things are looking up. There were a lot of reptilians arrested this morning, if not all of them. And the process of arresting them, because the vibrations went up last weekend, and then they also went up this weekend that just passed. And the process that we go through to arrest these reptilians is dramatically changed. And that's really, really good news for us. And the temporals as well. It used to take a lot, and I mean a lot, to get these beings prepped to be arrested by the Galactics, who have now arrested over 7,200 of these invaders. But they, like I said, they had to be prepped first, and now it's become extremely easy. I mean, it's amazing how easy it's become, which I am so incredibly grateful for, because it's been a very, very long road. And, I don't know how long this is going to last, but your prayers have really made a difference. In fact, your prayers have brought up the frequency to make all these arrests more possible, including the 819. There were 19 from the Bush family, 218 from Hollywood. I could talk to you about people from Hollywood for hours. And there were 8, Elizabeth Windsor, her husband, and 6 others. Elizabeth Windsor is the leader of the Freemasons. So the Freemasons took a big hit. Thank God. These Freemasons are raping and murdering children for centuries. And there were 32 from the Rockefeller family and 56. I've always talked about this number 56. Well, 56 members of the Rothschild family were arrested in that 819. And that's the significance of these of the 56 number, because Illuminati are like numerology freaks. I mean, everything has got to be like some kind of, it's always based on numbers and all this crap. And they're criminally insane. So, I mean, because I've been saying for years, I mean, if you can murder a 4 or 5-year-old girl or boy while raping them, you can do anything. These people have no remorse whatsoever. And the problem is their minions are still in offices, like, the Ohio governor, the Texas governor, the Indiana governor, and New York. New York is just filled with people. Every member of the Senate is involved in child trafficking except for 2 women. And then they murdered other people like Dianne Feinstein and replaced her with a male. So she's really a man. And they're all involved in this. But see, the vibrations of this planet are going up so high that this behavior will no longer be able to, it's not going to be able to hold on much longer. And thank you for your support. Thank you for your prayers for these children. And, like I said before, people who are praying and, asking the universe to stop this child trafficking operation have like between 35 and 50 angels around them. Which is a wonderful blessing in itself. And thank you. God bless your hearts. I hope you have a wonderful day.